Hello, welcome back to the channel. If you haven't already, go and check out our other videos. The next episode we move on to now is Season 1, Episode 10, Homer's Night Out. This episode first aired on March 25th, 1990. In its original American broadcast, this episode finished 14th place in the weekly ratings for the week of March 19 to 25th, 1990. It was the second highest rated show on the Fox network that week.
It's also the second episode of the series to include Homer's name in the title, the other one being Homer's Odyssey. We'll start off with the debut characters. Firstly, Carl makes his first appearance in this episode when he's taking part in the Bucks night, the stag night. Now, side note with this one, although it's the same voice performers for both Carl and Lenny, in this episode the voice performers do the opposite characters. So Carl is voiced by Lenny's and Lenny's is voiced by Carl. But there are discrepancies with the voices as well. There's hints of Ned Flanders and there's also hints of Moe when they're both speaking. Also making debut is Princess Kashmir.
Yep, and a side note for Princess Kashmir, the Fox censors at the time didn't want Princess Kashmir to be a straight-up bachelor party stripper, as the show was caught in controversy for being subversive, and due to Bart being a protagonist, a lot of people thought it was a kids' show. So they made Princess Kashmir a professional belly dancer who performs at bachelor parties, though she does tell Bart that she works at strip clubs under the name April Flowers, but her real name is Shauna Tifton.
Yeah, and also in that scene where she debuts, there's a point where you've got Carl talking to Homer about Princess Kashmir. Lenny turns around to say something, and there's basically no words are heard. Basically, his voice moves.
Another Simpsons error.
Yeah. Well, going back onto that point about them changing the character because of Bart being in it, later on when Homer's taking him round all the places, he's still sort of looking at the stage, like he's got that viewpoint, like he wants to see what's going on. So
yeah, he does.
So it's like, yeah, they're trying to pull away from it from there, but then they then let it go by the end of the episode because he's basically wanting to see that sort of thing anyway. So basically,
well, as a young kid, he's curious and
yeah.
He wants to know what it's all about, basically.
But yeah, so that's that now. Basically, episode we'll start off with it's Homer and Marge in the bathroom. Basically, Homer's discussing.
Going on a night out.
He's going on a night out with his assistant. He starts talking about this female that he has the hots for. But then Homer jokes like, oh, don't want to make you jealous, but I think she's only got eyes for me, sort of thing. We then get to the point where I think this is the first mention or first...
Of his weight,
of
basically.
His weight, basically, yeah. Gets on the scales, and I think quite a modest weight here.
£239.
Seems a bit modest for Homer.
It does for Homer.
And then he decides he's going to exercise. I exercise every morning. But then Marge chirps up.
His exercise and other people's exercise is a bit different.
Yeah, but then Marge subsequently chirps up, oh, you don't want to overexert yourself, and Homer's just like, because he's a quitter, it's like, yeah, you're right. And just subsequently stops. You've got Bart then looking
through a magazine.
Yeah, basically every single article he sees or advert that he sees, he's just like, yeah, no good.
But then he sees a spy camera, a mini camera, but it's called a spy camera.
Yeah.
And 6 months later, the door goes, it's the postwoman, and it's like he's been arguing with this postwoman for like the past 6 months.
And she's basically finally, I don't know, she may have done it before now, but basically at this point she gets annoyed. It's like, but after the argue,
it's a stupid spy camera.
Yeah, but side note with that one, when he's getting the money to send off for the spy camera, they haven't a throwback to Homer's Odyssey. You see his piggy bank,
Yeah,
which is now sellotape
back together.
So it's like they actually did. Nice to know that the Simpsons even back then would do continuity, even if nowadays the continuity is a bit squiffed, should we say? So yeah, Bart being the young child that he is, he's now got this camera, goes off, takes photos of Homer actually now exercising.
Takes a photo of Marge.
Yeah, shaving their armpits, and then because he's Bart, decides he's going to take a picture of his butt.
Which Lisa catches him.
He lies about it, obviously.
Yeah, you're not going to admit to that.
In the meantime, Homer and Marge have had this discussion about how he's going out tonight to it's later revealed to be a stag party for his supervisor, the same guy who was his basically underling, shall we say, earlier on in the episode. So in the space of 6 months, he's gone from working alongside Homer to now being his senior, his boss.
Well, to be fair, with Homer's work ethic and laziness, I think he's going to be overtook by near enough everyone at the plant, basically.
And with his work ethic, how the hell's he still got a job anyway? Normal man would have been sacked well before now.
I know, how many meltdowns?
Meltdowns, the fact he'll fall asleep on the job, he'll do anything apart from his job.
Well, sometimes don't even turn up, but that's for a later date.
Yeah. But yeah, this then goes into the fact that Marge then decides if Homer's going to be going out for the night, she's going to take the kids out for a meal to...
Rusty Barnacle, was it?
Rusty Barnacle, yeah. At this point, you get Bart
being Bart, like changing the letters up the side
on the board, yeah,
and biting the paw for everything. But
yeah, but with this one, another little error with this. There's 5 boxes to mark on this one,
but Bart ticks 6.
So yeah, extra box there. Just a side note with that one.
Probably thought you weren't going to notice.
Yeah, but
because you would have to, certain errors in the Simpsons episodes, you would have to like watch it, but then re-watch it to actually see some of the errors. Because some of them aren't actually noticeable until you watch it again.
Again, early series probably, even the production team probably missed out on those. It'll just be little animation errors here and there. Then they're taking the orders. Bart, obviously, he's trying to be a
smart ass.
Exactly. He orders the squid platter,
extra tentacles,
which by the time he gets it, you subsequently know, yep.
Looks like he was going to be sick.
Yeah. So he asked Marge to be excused. In the meantime, because coincidences just happen in Springfield, Homer is in the next room at this bachelor party.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit... Well, so out of all the places Marge wants to eat and Homer goes to this bachelor party, have to be next door to each other.
Yeah, just convenient.
Just so Bart can take the picture.
Yeah, and Bart has... Well, to be fair, you say it's convenient he has this camera on him, but at the same point, we found out this camera's his new toy, so he's going to carry it with him.
He will. It's Bart.
And in the meantime, we've had Princess Kashmir be introduced to the party. Basically, it's been set up that Homer, Carl and Lenny...
Well, all 3 of them were drinking at first, but then Marge hears the loud noise and she goes to the guy who works at the Rusty Barnacle to go, they're being a bit noisy. Can you go in and show me? And Homer goes... It's funny though, because when he opens up, Homer goes, shut up.
Yeah, but this is it. Homer, Carl and Lenny are the life of the party. They're there to have a good time.
Can you say in this episode now it's they're actually more friends with... Homer's actually got friends now in this episode. Can you say now? Could you have? Yeah, I can sort of say because you got Barney, you got Carl and Lenny. Sort of say he's got.
Yeah, this is it. We'll get on to Barney in a bit.
At a later date, but yeah,
later in this episode. But yeah, obviously Carl and Lenny
can see his friends
brought in to be work colleagues and friends as well. Gives Homer a bit more of a backstory away from the family, and obviously this will set up his frequent trips to Moe's as well later on. So it gives it another explanation apart from the fact of he's an alcoholic. But yeah, as I say, they seem to be life and soul of the party. The bachelor, his dad, they're just like
boring.
Yeah, when Princess Kashmir's brought out, they're just like They're not having any of it. It's just like, yeah, the father chirps up, oh yeah, we're in hell. It's like, it's a bachelor party. Have fun.
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't know it was Ned Flanders' bachelor party sort of thing he'd do. He'd be like, yeah, women.
No, and Ned wouldn't have one, would he?
Yeah. And plus the fact he's already married, but...
Yeah.
So, yeah, as we say, Bart sees this, takes the picture. I don't know, why... I mean, I can understand Princess Casimir, but why would you want a photo of your dad in it? Yeah. But just a little side note there. But, yeah, and next day at school, he then joins the photography club. First, has it really been mentioned after this?
It hasn't been mentioned after this.
So basically just brought in... Martin seems to be the head of this, the chair of it.
But in this episode, early Martin is not actually portrayed as being gay.
Yeah,
they've not said in the episode. They've not said that he's gay, but
later episodes it is sort of hinted at that he is of that persuasion. But again, they've not gone as far as to say he is 100% gay. But in this one, he
actually likes the Princess Casimir photo.
But again, Martin at this point, not much of a backstory apart from the fact of he's a brainiac basically.
You're starting to see more of his brainiacs, aren't you?
Yeah. And basically, this where we get the whole story, or begin the story, that it's like, not only does Martin like the picture, Milhouse asks Bart
Lewis
if he can have a copy, which turns into Lewis then like, well, why does Milhouse get one? I thought I was your friend, that sort of thing. Side note with that, when Milhouse goes to photocopy the picture, you basically get him going up to the photocopier. There's a sign that says the copier is 5 cents per copy. The machine says it's 10 cents, but Milhouse subsequently puts in what looks like a penny. So it's like, make your mind up, penny, 5 cents, 10 cents.
Yeah, it's like they didn't go back to the episode to check the errors. So just thought, we'll leave the errors in. Just like...
Or is it just a magic photocopy that takes any money?
$50?
I mean, a pretty expensive copy, but still. So, yeah, we basically... we're getting up to this point of the photo going viral, so it's the kids basically passing it around, taking multiple copies.
One of them takes it to his home to his dad, and then his dad goes...
Dad tells him, well, doesn't tell him off for him, but it's like, why are you bothering with this sort of thing? As soon as the kid's out of the room, he's then ringing up his friends, colleagues, whoever it was, like, I got something to show you. And basically this then goes even further. Eventually, Marge comes into a scene which appears as if Marge is the last person to know.
Yeah, because she finds out at a yoga class.
Yeah,
because it was a post. The picture was actually on the board.
Yeah, the women giggling,
giggling
about it, and she's angry / upset about it.
I don't get why.
Yeah, it's only. Not only, but it's just a picture of Homer dancing with.
He didn't kiss her.
Yeah.
Unlike Marge in the previous episode.
Yeah, she was tempted by Jacques in the previous episode. Yet now it seems she's taking the moral high ground. It's just like, yeah. But while this is going on, before Homer goes home, he goes into the Quickie Mart.
Yeah, and a little side note with the Quickie Mart. In this episode, the Quickie Mart isn't laid out the same way as it is now. So it's different.
Yeah,
different layout basically.
I mean, we call it continuity error, but
the
producers will probably turn around and say, "Well, the layout's changed."
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's an error.
So
it's just different, basically.
It's basically. I'm not sure. Was it? It may have been the same way in Krusty Gets Busted later episode. So it just seems like this is just like a layout they liked for the first series, but then it got changed for subsequent series.
And in this one, Mo and Homer don't exactly...
Apu
and Homer don't exactly know each other.
Yeah, Apu's going on about, you look familiar. Homer then makes a little joke about, you must be confusing me with Fred Flintstone. At this point, you've got a kid, you've got a couple of other people, not saying it as much, but you got the kid going do to him, and then other references are made, but Homer's not picking up on this. This one
he won't pick up on it though.
Yeah, this
because
isn't really Homer being stupid.
He
It's
doesn't
just the fact,
know it was had a picture took of him.
Yeah, he doesn't know the photo exists yet, so he just brushed it across as being, there's some weird people in this place.
But in his eyes, he didn't do anything wrong, and in my eyes, he didn't do anything wrong.
Exactly. Okay, maybe dancing with another woman. Well, yeah, but but at the same point, the way Marge subsequently blows this out of the water when he gets home. I mean, yeah, he does chirp up, it's meaningless. But yeah, Marge maybe can be a little bit upset, but she goes too far off the edge here.
Bit funny though when Homer and Marge find out it was Bart who took the picture. Homer goes to strangle Bob, and then Marge strangles Homer, because I don't think you've ever really seen Marge actually strangle Homer, have you?
Well, this is the first instance where Homer's had a strangling. I think, there was a later episode in the series. Homer was scared of Bart, and that was it. It was when Bart was being mischievous. He was taken to that counsellor, and basically the counsellor's idea was that Homer should get strangled by basketball players. And basically, yeah, so Homer does get strangled later on. He has dream sequences in that episode of Bart strangling him. But yeah, this is basically the first time that you see Homer sort of get a taste of his own medicine, even though it's only a quick sort of grab of it. But I think with that one, I think Marge's a little bit annoyed with Bart as well when she first finds out it's just sort of like your photo sort of thing.
Yeah, but she calms down in the end to realise it's not Bart's fault, really.
Yeah. But basically, she doesn't give Homer a chance to explain. She just chucks him out and then just acts like he's betrayed her. It's like, yeah, if you have a soul left, you'll need these. Tries to give her a box of tissues because she's upset as well.
Got to say, though, first episode where Homer's actually done nothing wrong but gets chucked out of the house.
Yeah. But as I say, it's just the fact that Marge won't let him explain. It's like, so yeah, Homer's basis, we say, he's in the doghouse.
Goes to Moe's.
It's ladies' night. I mean, my God, it looks like a really interesting ladies' night. Just one lady.
I know, great. Yeah, but who'd want to go to Moe's, though? I mean, with all the drunks at the bar, you got Barney, Lenny, Carl, Homer. It's like, really? And it's seen the actual state of it anyway.
This is it. There's not really many women that go in the bar, apart from Marge has been in there a couple of times, but that's just basically been to find Homer, and then
to work there as well. But that's later.
I think Ruth Powers was there at some point, but yeah, this is really the first instance anyway. There's any indication that women are allowed in Moe's, because it just basically a guys only bar, not by choice, just the fact of it's not really appealing to women. But from this, Homer explains what's happened. This is the first instance where I think it's really shown that Barney is, I don't know, would you call him friends with Homer or just being friendly? He basically offers him a place to stay anyway.
I'd say it's starting to be starting to find out he's got friends now. Yeah, I'd say friend.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say Moe yet.
Yeah, although to be fair,
Barney.
Moe shows again in this episode his sort of side of what he's like. It's like Homer explaining about the picture. He just turns around and goes, "What, this picture that he's got framed behind the bar?"
Yeah, but this is just Moe. He's class.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just a case of what a Moe thing to do. Just like it's a picture of Homer dancing with a woman. He's obviously just got it behind the bar because he is a filthy man, basically. Yeah, perv. And but yeah. Also with this episode, as I say, Barney offers Homer a place to stay. So this is the first appearance of Barney's apartment.
Yeah, and a little side note with Barney's apartment, which Homer spends the night in. He's kicked out of his house by Marge. The apartment is partly based on Jim Reardon, Rick Moore, and a few other animations shared in college. So it's basically
their drawings, basically.
Yeah, shared from college.
So yeah, basically their ideas of a apartment sort of thing, and then we then get Homer looking out the window. You just see a sea of lights. From this, considering the fact that Homer's not the brightest spark, he suddenly turns around to Barney and's like, see that light over there? That's my porch light. Someone must have left it on. It's like,
he hasn't got a porch.
Yeah, A, don't have a porch, and B, he can spot his own house in a sea of lights. It seems a bit far-fetched to me.
It is far-fetched.
I wouldn't be able to spot my
well, I wouldn't, anyway.
Yeah, from miles away.
Yeah, but it's the Simpsons, though.
Yeah. But yeah, we then get on to the next day, Homer at the plant. In this point, Mr. Burns is another person who's seen the photo. Smithers, over the tannoy, asks Homer to come to see Mr. Burns. So obviously Homer thinks the worst, possibly that he's getting fired or something like that.
So does Smithers. Smithers has a bit of
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, this is it. Smithers doing the donkey work for Mr. Burns.
As always.
Yeah. And then when he finally goes to see Mr. Burns, he goes on about, how the power plant is a family company and all this sort of thing. Which seems a bit strange because Mr. Burns isn't this caring in later episodes. So it's like, yeah, whatever. Eventually gets to the point where he asks Smithers to leave, and then we find out what his real intentions are, and he starts quizzing Homer on basically how to get women, because Mr. Burns admits that he's never been that great with ladies.
I don't get it. How can Homer be so good with women? It was only dancing. How can people think he's really got that way with women?
Yeah, apparently dancing with a woman means you're just fantastic at basically picking up ladies. I don't know. Again, Simpsons, it's a lot. The characters at this point don't seem to have much thought process going on. Homer's obviously, because he's obviously, like we're saying, it's like, he's only danced with this woman. It's like, he doesn't, he's just like, so he just turns around to Mr. Smith, it's like, oh yeah, just wine and dine and buy him chocolates, buy him flowers. Generic thing to do with ladies. At this point, Homer's just decided he needs to go home. He misses home too much. And when he walks through the door, I think this is the first point where you see both Bart and Lisa happy to see him, basically.
Yeah, it is.
They wish him luck in going to see Marge and talking to her. He's basically goes in, gets a glass of water, makes a point of like, I'm not drinking from the carton, I'm drinking from the glass.
In a point though, he only wants to go home because he said he's had no food.
Yeah, Marge is like, you don't even know what you're apologising for. Yes, I do. My clothes are dirty. I'm hungry. It's like, yeah, it's not really the right reasons to be going home. But then, because Marge is the level-headed person, even though, as we said earlier, she's blown this out of the water. But she's like, yeah, you've shown a bad influence to Bart. Even though it's Bart, he's going to think that anyway.
Yeah.
Apparently, so it's like, yeah, you're going to find her, you're going to apologise to her, you're going to prove to Bart that she's a human being.
Not just an object.
Yeah. So, yeah, the only time you're going to see Marge approve of Bart being dragged around those sorts of establishments. But this basically turns into play. It just seems like Homer's been sent on a wild goose chase with this one. He goes into half a dozen places, and it just seems to be like, oh no, she's at this place. Oh no, I don't know what this person's talking about. She's obviously there. So yeah, it gets to the point where it's like, yeah, he's just basically spending half the night trying to find her. Then he does track her down to this little nightclub sort of place. When he introduces himself, she's obviously a bit apprehensive to see him, because obviously it's like, oh, her life's obviously being changed by this photo as well. She's not just Homer being, oh yeah, you're dancing with this woman. But not at this point have we actually thought, well, just a minute, she's in the photo as well. She's being depicted as sex objects.
I would say that, yeah.
So it's like, yeah, she's like, oh yeah, she's apprehensive. It's like, yeah, my life's changed because of this. But once Homer explains why he's there, gets to open up. At this point, she's sitting in what I describe as a big bird cage sort of thing.
It's a bird cage, big bird cage.
Yeah. So Homer being Homer, he gets into the cage to speak to her. In the process of her telling Bart bits about herself, the cage has been raised up into the ceiling, Homer being Homer, not looking where he's going, thinking he's still on the ground, goes to leave, and is then subsequently dangling from the cage. In the meantime, you've got there's a singer there who's basically doing his performance. When Homer subsequently falls onto the stage, he comes across as being quite angry at that.
Yeah,
fact.
he doesn't want him on the stage.
But
then when an audience member notes, oh, it's you from the photo.
Yeah, basically you get half a dozen people like, oh yeah, the guy from the photo. So the performer suddenly changes his tune. It's like, oh, local celebrity and all this.
I didn't realise it was you.
And subsequently brings him in on the act. Side note with this, you see Mr. Burns, Miss Smithers and a couple of females. Even though Mr. Burns is finally with a woman, which is what he was speaking to Homer about earlier on, he seems to get quite, not annoyed, but he's questioning Smithers on how Homer seems to be able to attract all this female attention. Because basically at this point Homer's just ends up dancing with all the ladies on stage, joining in with the singing, and then he subsequently then looks over to Bart and then remembers why he's there, does his starts on the speech about how women aren't objects and all this. While he's doing this, we then see a figure rise in the crowd, Marge.
I know,
My question
where did
is,
Marge know Homer was going to be? I mean, she told Homer to go with Bart, to take him to see this woman, to explain to her that she's not just an object. Somehow Marge turns up there.
Well, this is it. There's two questions. It's like, is she there because she's trying to find Homer, like you say? If she is, how does she know where he is? But then on the other hand, it's like, if she's not, why is she there? And who's looking after the other kids? It's like, it just seems to be... Obviously, she's there for the end sequence, but again, it just seems to come across as lazy writing, just to get her there. There's no explanation.
It does come across as lazy writing.
And it's just like, why would Marge even be in a place like that anyway? She wouldn't leave the kids on their own. I mean, okay, she's probably left them with Patty, Selma or Grandpa, but still, it's still a little nitpick. Maybe getting a bit nitpicky with that, but still, it just seems a bit silly for her to be going out when she's already sent Homer out. But yeah, as I say, he goes on about women not being sex objects, the mothers, sisters, aunts, grandmothers and all that sort of thing. We then get to the scene ender, as I say, Marge is there, basically so her and Homer can basically reconcile with each other. Basically, Homer, although he's not done as wrong a thing as Marge seems to come across and say he's done, he's forgiven for this picture. And basically, we just end with Bart like, yeah, just everybody leave, you don't want to see my parents kiss and all that sort of thing. So that's basically the episode itself.
Talking about some of the other stuff, it's like when the staff went around Hollywood taking pictures of strip clubs so that they could get inspiration for the interior design of the strip club buildings in Springfield. So it's a good idea for them to do that, to go so they can actually get an idea of what it was like, basically, so they can put it into animation.
How convenient they wanted to go to strip clubs to see what the layouts were.
I know, and that as well.
So, sorry, one of the writers turned into Homer having to explain their actions to the wife?
Yeah, true. Maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, side note with this, the reactions we get to the photograph of Homer and Princess Kashmir, it was particularly based on the fallout following the release of Rob Lowe's infamous sex tape. So again, cultural reference with that one. And basically, yeah, anything else to add, or do we move on to pros and cons?
Yeah, I think we can move on to it now. Yeah, pros and cons.
Well, I'm going to start off with cons because we've mentioned it a couple of times, but basically, major con in this one, Marge's reaction to the photo. I mean,
that's stupid.
It's like, yeah, okay, yeah, as we said, previous episode, the whole being tempted by Jock. Again, because it was early series, that may have not been meant to be in that order. It may have been a later one.
Would you say she's a bit of a hypocrite?
Yeah, she doesn't give Homer a chance to explain. It's just like chucks him out, and it's just like, as I say, it's just major gripe for me. It's just a case of she's getting all high and mighty over this photo. She could have at least let Homer explain how the photo came to be in place, basically.
Another negative, I'd say Lisa offers nothing to the episode, and Maggie again, but Lisa.
Well, yeah, Maggie,
nothing.
you could probably get away with Maggie because really, early series, just maybe what we really do with Maggie, she's basically just the background. But yeah, Lisa, as you say, nothing really. I think she's basically bouncing off Bart a bit in this episode with him taking pictures of his bum. Basically, at the breakfast table the morning after Homer's been chucked out, she's talking to Bart, asking when they think that Homer's going to come home. So yes, as you say, really nothing really added to this one.
Actually, would you say it's for instance where you see Moe's perverted side?
A bit, because it's like, yeah, it's one thing to pass the photo around, but to basically frame it in the bar, because one of the people in the picture is someone who comes into his bar all the time.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a bit strange, like what? So what? Even if you haven't pointed out, Homer's going to see it eventually and be like, you got a picture of me? But again, the way Mo is, I'm surprised he hasn't got a picture of Marge behind the bar in later episodes.
Would you say some of the negatives to the few mistakes in the episode, like the ending was a bit...
Again with Marge just turning up out of the blue. There's just...
Lazy writing, basically.
Yeah, as we said, lazy writing. We know why she's there, but at the same point, just the setup for it, it's just like, wow. Firstly, why would Marge even be there? Because really, shouldn't one of the parents be at home looking after Lisa and Maggie? She's the one who sent Homer out. Yet subsequently, she either somehow manages to get there, or she's been following Homer around all night. Yeah. So it's just like, yeah, that just comes across as just lazy writing. Although, like I say, Carl and Lenny's voices being different, you could sort of write that one off saying, well, yeah, they tried it with the voice actors they had and then decided they were better the other way around. But as I said in the episode, you have brief instances of Mo and Ned being heard. Neither are at the party, so it's like...
that's a negative.
For that, it's
that should have been really checked.
They should have picked up on that in editing. That's really...
That's quite poor.
Yeah. Early series, but really that's... Don't want to criticise them too much, but you say that was a kid's error, basically. They should have really picked it up when they've subsequently edited the programme.
Any other negatives?
Can't really think of any others.
Right then, let's work on the positives.
Positives. I mean the matter, the Marge part and the ending, actually having a nice speech from Homer in the end. Actually find out, yeah, he's not this basically dumb fool. He's basically, he makes everybody realise it's like, yeah, women aren't objects, they are normal people. It makes people realise, the singer, for instance, he's like, my mum's felt down, I better give her a call.
Is that where do you reckon they were going with it?
I think this is basically, yeah, like, I know what you're hinting at there. It's basically, I think this is the main thing to take away from the episode. I think what they're hinting towards, trying to put in that, yeah, women aren't objects, they are real human beings.
I think that's what they were trying to get at. Another positive we'd say is Barney, because Barney did help out Homer. So you find out Homer did have a friend there in Barney.
Yeah, and with Carl and Lenny, they're brought in to be a foil for Homer as well. So yeah, Homer's starting to get an inner circle. basically it's been brought more into it with Moe's being a part of the series, because I don't think up to this point that Moe and Homer have really been shown as being two friends. They've had interactions, but I don't think they've been shown as being friends sort of thing, as it's been more bartender, customer sort of thing.
Yeah, it has.
Any positives?
I can't think of any more positives unless you can. No?
No, not really. As I say, I mean, I think Homer's speech at the end sort of makes up for any other lack of positives in the episode. It's more gives you the feel-good moment to end with. They're actually
that's a good
doing
positive.
an episode that actually has a basic outline, and you can actually take something away from it. So yeah, I think that's it for this episode.
Yep. Comments down below if we've missed a positive, which you think's a positive, or negative, which we have missed,
or anything we may have missed out from the episode, or
anything you like we didn't.
Yep. But yeah, like,
subscribe, like I said, comment, and we'll see you in the next video.